Welcome to That's on Them. We're your hosts. I'm Aspen.
And I'm Cheryl. And we're here to talk about life's challenges and how to navigate them.
Offering tried and true tips and tools.
Let's do this, baby. Hi, Aspen.
Hi, Cheryl.
Again, I love us so much. You guys, we've said this before, but sometimes our bloopers are better than our shows.
They are. We've said hi about 10 times because I'll be like, I don't like the way I said that. You're like, I don't like the way I said that. And they haven't changed at all within the 10 times. It's just, we're just getting ourselves all messed up.
We're a little silly. We're a little silly today.
Yes.
But we love September. love September so much. Have so many September birthdays too.
Yes.
So many Libras.
We love our Libras. But I love this episode because it is a continuation of last week's episode. So last week we did deflection to reflection, which was super powerful. And we got some great questions from people. And then this week is reflection to realization. Mm-hmm. And it was like step one was last week of avoidant to taking accountability. And now it's accountability to changing your life and like implementing these things and having these aha moments about what you want to create.
And I'm going to do a shout out to my dear friends because they're the ones that influence this. And so shout out to you know who. Love you guys so much. And the conversation we had leading up to this, and the conversation we had during this, and the conversation we had after this. But we pulled it all together, and here we are, part 2 of 2.
Yes, part 2.
Reflection to realization. So let's look back on that reflection and that recap of looking in the mirror. Mm-hmm. And I know that you mentioned we had some questions, and I remember reviewing, I think there was like 6 or 7 that were really, really into this, some deep stuff going on. And I love that because I think we even heard about reflection, like looking in the mirror and how scary it was.
Yes.
It's like, yes. It's vulnerable, scary. But the other side of it is energy and change, right? And accountability. And when you play through it, you become more non-judgmental, right? Don't be critical on yourself when you're looking in that mirror. Well, that's easier said than done because we're all critical of ourselves when we look in the mirror.
Yeah, sometimes too critical. No, but I love the point that you're bringing up, which is, you know, as you're in this reflection, this is not a time to beat up on yourself. This is a time to observe yourself and also give yourself grace and realize like you're doing the best you can with what you have, but that's not an excuse to not evolve. You know, as you reflect, you're becoming aware of the way you're showing up. And now you get the opportunity to change it. And with change, it's not going to happen overnight. It takes freaking time. It's taken me years, and it continues to take work and effort to embody who I want to be.
I mean, you don't realize you've been doing the work for so long that you wake up and you're like, oh, it's here. Because reflection creates wisdom.
Yes. Oh, that was good.
Just saying.
Let's take a moment.
Oh, I know. Just
reflection creates wisdom.
Creates wisdom.
Yeah.
Right? And the wiser you are about what's going on inside your mind and your body and your spirit, right? And the wiser you are that you're not just a body, okay? I mean, God bless that you have one. And boy, the things we do to our bodies, I can't believe they still function. But the wisdom that comes out of reflection and the realization that happens with respect to, I am part of a universal force. Right. The energetic forces out there, the universe is so vast and so varied, and so are you because you make up the universe.
We underestimate the effect that we have on others. We underestimate our own power.
And your aha moments, right? And ode to Oprah there. But, you know, that light goes off, that inside reflection, that shift that happens, you know, we're all work in progresses, right? We're all WIPs. But when we get to that realization of, oh, I'm okay.
Yeah.
Maybe that wasn't so good. Maybe I was kind of vulnerable. Maybe I was angry. Maybe I was frustrated. Maybe when I looked in the mirror, I didn't like what I was seeing. But then the more you look in the mirror and the more you say, I'm so grateful to be able to look in the mirror.
Right.
Take a moment there. right? And you shift to that gratitude place and you realize too that strength of the power that you are, right? And the encouragement. Whatever, turn on some songs with respect, happy songs, obviously, beautiful songs, meditation music, jazz music, instruments. I mean, instruments totally change a vibe.
Right.
Right?
Right. Let's tie it back into our own personal experiences and really how to go from that reflection to realization. I know for me, I spent a lot of time in reflection, just evaluating how I showed up, who I wanted to be, the energy that I was putting off to others, and just how I was overall feeling. Because I do think that the energy that you feel is the energy that you put off. If you feel jealous, angry, that's the energy that other people are receiving when they're interacting with you, right? And so you have to work on that internal, that reflection period. For me, I'll speak to my own experience. Sometimes there are moments and situations where it happens really quick, but from majority of my transformation, it took me a long time.
Let's go to the place that realization is potential, right?
Yes.
It's opportunities. So when you were going through this stuff and you were just even struggling with a little bit of defining it, right? And because the reason that you were struggling defining it, I feel, is that it's so vast, right? And it's so continuous that realization happens in every single opportunity. Let's just call it that.
Right.
Do you see something as a problem or an opportunity?
Right.
Do you see when a situation comes up to problem solve it, to a solution? Are you solution minded, or are you always, oh my God, it's a problem and it's only going to be problems. It's never going to have a solution, right? So when you come to the world and you come into this realization of every single thing is an opportunity, there is a solution to every problem and issue. You might not like the solutions, and you know this, when I chat with people or especially when I work with someone and they're bringing me, so many issues, right? It's so traumatic. And it's very real to them. My first thing is, what would you like to do about it?
Yeah.
And usually it's a blank state. Like, no. I'm bringing you the problem. I don't want to do anything about it. I want to bring you the problem.
Right.
And it's like, if you're coming to talk to me about something, you better have a solution behind you.
Right.
Because the exact question is going to say, again,
what do you want to do about it?
Okay, I acknowledge this is a problem. This is certainly a problem, but I'm going to acknowledge it as an opportunity. When you shift that realization to, it's an opportunity to solve. Right? Shift into the energetic field of, I've got this, right? I'm not going to judge it. I'm going to see it as potential. I'm going to see it as something that I get to work through and grow and learn from, right? And I realize when I shift it from problematic to opportunistic, I could frickin' solve it.
Yep.
And guess what? I could probably solve it by myself.
The realization is really like, how do you want to show up and what do you want to give off? So what's the tool of the week? The tool of the week is shift the mindset. Whatever problem you're facing, shift the mindset to, how is this an opportunity? How can I learn from this? How can I see this from a new lens and progress it forward versus staying in that victim mindset of like, it's a problem, and letting it just like amount to all this anxiety and whatever negative emotions come with it. Shift it.
Yeah. What is my opportunity today? This has come to me as a challenge for an opportunity for me to grow and to help others grow as well. So the reflection creates wisdom and realization creates opportunity.
I love it.
Let's get to the question.
Let's roll. Okay, this is great. I just listened to every episode and I had a huge realization that I've been in denial about a lot of things in my life. I'm seeing my life differently and I'm feeling pretty down. What's the best way to start when I feel like I've been messing everything up? I think there's a level of beating yourself up for things that you weren't aware of. Yes, there is this point of, oh gosh, I didn't quite show up the way I wish I would have. But what's in the past is in the past and you can't go back and rewrite it.
Right.
And really do not beat yourself up about this. You did the best with what you had at the time.
Absolutely.
And maybe your best was like not great, because I know my best has not been not great at times. So I would really encourage you, try not to beat yourself up right now and focus on what you can do going forward to shift the pattern and also show up differently in those situations.
And I have a couple things on that. You know, as we're talking about problematic to opportunistic, let's if you do want to reflect, right? Not deflect, but reflect, and you want to jot down some stuff that, you know, you might have learned from, let it literally say to yourself, oh my goodness, what was the opportunity that just came to me? And do not judge it. Do not grade it. This is not a failure. For goodness sakes, we grow through falling down. We grow through what we call failing. If you label yourself in those ways, negative labels get you nowhere. But you also can't reflect in the rearview mirror. Okay, the rearview mirror has a bunch of dust in it. Stop judging. Stop being critical. It's done. It's over. Basta. Move on. Right. But this moment right now, you can definitely say energetically, I want to shift it. And I want to learn a little bit about what I don't want to do next time because it didn't serve me.
You're right, though. You're spot on. Right now, it's about you.
Yes.
And, you know, shifting it.
Your realization.
Right.
Yeah. And accepting the fact that you want to grow through it. Wasn't a great time as far as what you're saying to us. You want to grow to it. Right?
Yes.
And if it did affect another person that you love and cared about, then you'll make that an opportunity as well to be forgiving and just move on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I'll also say this, like, hey, if you're feeling this way, it's a sign that like you're a good person with good character, and don't beat yourself up. You know, like if you weren't feeling this way, that would be a little bit more concerning. But with that being said,
definitely.
We're going to wrap this week up, you guys. Have a fabulous week. Remember that we're on YouTube, so you can watch us. You can see our crazy facial expressions and our hands waving and, you know, all the crazy stuff that happens behind the scenes. So you can go ahead and watch us on YouTube, but also subscribe, rate, and review this podcast. You guys, it really helps us. And if you could please take this episode and send it to someone you love, that would be fabulous. Have a great week.
Ciao.
That's On Them is hosted by Aspen Rocha and Cheryl Paoletti, produced by Lauren Boone, and edited by Sarah Buchynski.
Love you, Tots.
See you later, Tots.